Shalom, shalom. This is Kapadia, a.k.a. Pops, the gym at Chicago, with another sit-down. Go try to make it kind of quick. Hold on.
I remember it's in the old days.
Okay. Let me see if I can bag it up and get it to start over.
Got no celebrity. My husband coming to this house, he rusty. Lord.
Okay. All right, then. So, like I said, this is Kapadia, a.k.a. Pops, out of gym at Chicago, with another sit-down. Before I get started, though, like always, I want to send all praises, honor, and glory out to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakwadash. To the apostles and elders of GMS out of New York, elder bishops out of Connecticut, apostle down in Texas. Send double honors out. I send double honors out because they do well. For the brethren around the world pushing this truth uncut, unfiltered, giving you the good, the bad, and the ugly of the scriptures, correctly breaking down the prophecies and the interaction with people and planet, I send salutations, basically because we're declaring war on it. For the hopeful elect, I hope this is edifying. For the aquat, the few and the true that's listening, pay close attention to this particular lesson as well and apply it. Before the scorners call for 2/3 Israelites and 17 other nations who are in the midst of Jacob's trouble, it's going to get a whole lot worse. Anyway, this is a scenario of a female breaking down her interaction with her husband. Okay, I'm going to pull up a scripture after she says what she says and show you that whole breakdown in the law. Then I'm going to show you where the Lord in red said that he's not going to be doing away with the law. And like we push and say all the time, what laws do you think are going to be governing the kingdom of heaven? The laws, statutes, and commandments that was given to the Israelites are going to be the laws, statutes, and commandments that the existence is going to be ran by. For the interaction of people and things of this nature, it's going to be run under them same exact laws. So, with that having been said, let me let this play. Let me actually take this off first, because I don't want that.
Bluetooth disconnected.
I don't need that to be messing up anything. And let's let this play.
A lot of women ain't gonna want to hear this. I don't got no celebrity. My husband coming to this house, he rusty. Lord have mercy. A lot of women ain't gonna want to hear this. You might want to pump your brakes now, lady. And I know that sounds old school. I get called a pick me and all that. This is what we've allowed our young women to believe. We need to bring shame back. My husband runs me. He has the last say so at the end of the day. He's the king of this house. Y'all heard it. Her husband has the last say so. Now, how many of y'all women can do that? That's not ridiculous to say that. Yes, he allows me to do what I need to do. I can move freely. I can, make my own decisions. If I see something, I want to do something, he's going to support it. But the minute that he's like, nah, that ain't going, it ain't going. Yes. She can move freely. She can make her own decisions. At the end of the day, if he don't think it's right, then it's a no-go. Yep. I respect my husband's wisdom. I respect my husband's output and outlook.
I'm reminiscing the old days.
She respects him and he respects her. I'm gonna hurt somebody. But if there's no respect or no order in the house, you would run into a lot of problems. Message.
Okay. So now, you strong black women that think that y'all really gonna want to be that in the day of Jacob's trouble, when this calamity and this dollar collapse and all this other kind of shit, y'all got a whole different set of circumstances that y'all get ready to deal with. We need to picture this. No 911, so you can't call and get the motherfuckers police to come out there and solve your problems or squash your issues. 2, let's say you do go to the range, or the gun range, and you think you can shoot. Well, 9 times out of 10, the motherfucker that's coming up in your house, especially if you done been that loud, braggadocious ass female, and that motherfucker know you got a weapon, he gonna come in there with a weapon to get at that ass, okay? So it could be a shootout, okay? among other things. All right? But if he absolutely can get the drop on you, you'll never get to the weapon in the first place. But let's not even talk about the downside of it. Let's just talk about the way the kingdom of heaven is going to be ran and the fact that you've got such a problem with it now. You heard what she said. She said if her husband says at the end of the day that ain't happening, then it ain't happening. He runs the show. Okay? So now let's go and get some scriptures. Because see, y'all done been misled into believing that what this Edomite has put in the chamber as a lifestyle is how y'all supposed to be living. So let's go here. Now I don't want to go there first. I actually want to go back one. Now I don't want to exit. Let me just go back to Leviticus 30. Is that Leviticus, the 30th chapter? Yeah. No, it can't be Leviticus. It ain't no 30. Is it Numbers? Let's see. Might be Numbers. Let's see. Open. There we go. Yeah, Numbers. Okay. Oh, it's Numbers. I'm going to start about 3. 30, verse 3. If a woman also vow to the Lord, if a woman also vow a vow to Yahweh and bind herself by a bond, being in her father's house in her youth, and her father hear her vow and her bond wherewith she hath bound her soul, and her father shall hold his peace at her, then all the vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand. But if her father disallow her in the day that he heareth not any of her vows or of her bonds wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand, and Yahweh shall forgive her because her father disallowed her. Here's the part that y'all don't want to hear. And if she had at all an husband when she vowed or uttered aught out of her lips wherewith she bound her soul, and her husband heard it and held his peace at her in the day that he heard it, then her vow shall stand, and her bonds wherewith she bound her soul shall stand. But if her husband disallowed her all the day that he heard it, then she shall make her vow, then he shall make her vow which she vowed, and that which she uttered with her lips wherewith she bound her soul of none effect, and Yahweh shall forgive her. So these vows things can be real deep, real penetrating. A king vowed that he was going to sacrifice the first thing he saw when he came back from a war. And the first thing he saw was his daughter. So he had to sacrifice her. She had a month, I guess, to go celebrate her virginity, which, she did. And then he sacrificed her. Okay? That does mean put her to death. Okay. But this is a law. You see it's in Numbers. It's a law. So now we go to that Matthew. Five 17. Oh, excuse me. Matthew 5 and 17. So you see this is in red. Think not that I come to destroy the law or the prophets. I come not to destroy, but to fulfill. So Yahushua came on to fulfill all that was written about him. But all those things haven't been fulfilled. There's numerous of scriptures in the Old Testament that speak on the destruction that Yahushua is going to be allowed to be cut loose by Yahweh and come back here and do. Those haven't been done yet. So all those things got to happen. But then when the kingdom of heaven is put in place, and y'all can read. And they actually, I'm gonna read through some. I'm gonna read through this. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled. So that's all those warrior stories that Yahweh Shai's got to fulfill back in the past, and the stuff that's spoken of in Revelations, stuff that's spoken of in the Apocrypha. All these warrior stories that Yahweh Shai's got to come back and lay on all these nations have got to come to pass. So all those things have to happen. Okay? And all the future prophecies that are sitting here now. You know, the MOTB, the nuclear weapons being used as a cleansing agent for the whole entire earth, America catching the bulk of those and being turned into a desert. All those things have to happen. Okay? 18, so verily, verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, not one jot nor one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled. Again, so that means all the I's and all the T's of the scenario of this contract or this playwright that Yahweh wrote, that he had the prophets write out so that the remnant will have it to be able to use as the reference as to know where we at in the play and time period wise. It's being referenced and used now. And you see, this is where the anticlimactic great battles starting to show up or getting ready to show up. And that's why you got all these would-be, wannabe celebrities stepping up trying to dip and dab in it, but they can't give you the full 100% honest to God truth about what's absolutely going on. Yeah, and like I said, a lot of them was made to be known that they Israelites, but they can't hold the truth all the way across the board because they handlers will not allow it to happen. Okay? Whosoever therefore shall break one of the least of these commandments shall teach man so, he shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven. You know, we had a clown come up here a few weeks back, you know, want to talk about this in the law. And I hit him with the simplest of scriptures, fabrics, and being able to wear the same fabric head to toe. And if you can't keep it, then then how you going to be able to say that you can keep all of the law when you absolutely you interchange the dogma and you can't? So it got into a big 20-minute discussion and whatnot. They like to come out and debate, but this ain't no more debating. This ain't the time for debating. The debating part of this was in the past. We debated this shit 8 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever it might be. You get some of the younger cats in the camps now that want to debate these guys. You don't debate these guys. They want to teach, let them take that bullshit they trying to teach and get down the road with it. Okay? Period. You know, that shit is past now. Okay? So whoever therefore shall break one of the least of these commandments and shall teach man so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. Okay? But so we established the law and breaking even that small of a law and whatnot. If you think you can get your salvation through the law, you condemned yourself because you don't have the right ingredient. You got to have faith to be able to make this work. You got to have faith. You got to have the names, and your works will show all those things. And it ain't going to even be the works that's going to get you there, but I'll show you my faith by my works is what the scriptures state would be happening. For I say unto you that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, ye shall in no case enter into the kingdom of heaven. Ye have heard that it was said, no. Okay, so I'm there. Shall enter to the kingdom of heaven. So that's verse 17 through 20. But just like I said, so that's the end of that. So there's no laws that's going to be done away in the kingdom. A man has a vow. A woman is a possession. He hears her vow. He can disallow it. This type of thing. The whole deal. When he catch wind of it, he can disallow it. So when she said that he runs the show, he absolutely is going to be running the show in the kingdom. You women that don't want to understand that now and able to wrap your mind around it and try to hear your life and your thought processes to that now, you could be setting yourself up for some very fucked up scenarios in the very near future here when your husband tells you something and you call yourself being the wife of an Israelite male and you want to go against what the fuck he's saying. Hey, Lot's wife went against what the Lord had sent the angels to do for him. She went against it and turned around and looked back at all the wealth that she was walking away from and stood right there in that same spot as a pillar of salt to this day over there. Okay? And that was an easy judgment compared to what the Lord is getting ready to do now. Oh, there's going to be pain and destruction now. Ain't going to be no easy out. Ain't going to be no instantaneous changes into some inanimate object or a pillar of salt or some shit like that. Oh, no, baby, there's going to be a whole lot of motherfucking pain wrapped into this one. So you play that game if you want to and run that bullshit that you think you can get away with and think that your man is soft at you. And guess what? He may not want to be a lion in his own house, but he definitely don't have to be soft in the process of. He can give you enough rope that you'll hang your damn self. All right? So with that having been said, I just want to send that out there. So, like I said, you got some women out here that got their mind right on whatever level. Even if their man ain't right, they mind right as in doing what it is that he say do. But they, like I said, if they hook to a 230, then they hook to a 230, and that was their destiny. That's the way the Lord wrote it out. But if you call yourself trying to be a woman of the Lord, trying to be hooked to a man of the Lord, you about to understand what that consists of and hold your tongue. Because there's going to be some times where he might say something. He don't have the time to give you the whole fucking 411 information breakdown as to why you need to do this. You just need to shut up and do that at that point to keep both y'all asses out of the middle of some dumb shit. Period. Simple as that. So with that, I want to send all praises, honor, and glory out to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, and Kakwadash, to the apostles and elders of GMS out of New York. I want to send double honors because they do rule well. For the brethren around the world, and out of the elder bishops out of Connecticut, apostles down in Texas, they do rule well. Brethren around the world, pushing the truth uncut, unfiltered, giving good, bad, and ugly of the prophecies, correctly breaking them down, putting that shade out there, letting them know that, hey, destruction is coming, declaring war on the planet. Hey, like I said, that shade and that cast of coverings is being lifted off. Okay? The new light that's being shined on it is the absolute truth. The world ain't gonna like it, but they gonna have to accept it and deal with it, because in the end, Yahweh Shai is gonna make it all come to pass anyway, under orders of Yahweh. So, with that having been said, Shalom to the first group and a barber ball to the second.